New rumors are stirring up a lot of attention, suggesting that Diddy and Jay-Z might be connected to the tragic death of Aaliyah. Some even believe that her case could be reopened, especially now with the legal drama surrounding Jay-Z. With these shocking allegations coming to light, many people are starting to wonder, could Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy be involved in something far more serious than anyone ever imagined? The story is unfolding and it's leaving everyone asking questions.
The plane crash that killed a rising star in the world of music and film. Reaction today after Aaliyah and 8 others were killed when their plane went down. Good evening, I'm Lauren Glassberg in for Sandra Bookman.
And I'm Tim Fleischer. The plane, just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground. Investigators now saying one of the engines apparently failed. Along with 8 passengers, Aaliyah, a young Brooklyn native and a talented singer and actress. Jeff Roston is live in Times Square with more on her life. Jeff.
And Aaliyah had a huge following not only here in New York City, but nationwide. Only 22 years old, this pop sensation was a popular singer. She was an actress in some movies recently, even a Grammy nominee. Tonight, her family is in mourning. Fans asking, why her? Relatives in shock outside Aaliyah's home on the Upper West Side. The R&B star lived here at the Century, Central Park West and 63rd. She was on a small plane heading to Florida from the Bahamas, where she...
Diddy and Jay-Z became close friends in the early 90s and quickly began dominating the music scene. Their first big collaboration happened in 1997 when they teamed up for a track that ended up on Diddy's debut album, No Way Out. But it turns out their partnership went beyond just music. In 1999, both Jay-Z and Diddy got into legal trouble. Jay-Z pled guilty to a stabbing incident, while Diddy was linked to a shooting that ended with the death of an innocent bystander. Then, just 2 years later, Aaliyah, a woman Jay-Z had openly been after since she was underage, tragically died. Now people are starting to connect these events, and it's leaving many wondering what really happened behind the scenes. The pieces are coming together, and the story is getting more intriguing by the day.
Tupac died, and then there was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and Jay-Z, and then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both f***ed Aaliyah. They shared
court fees and litigations because Jay-Z wants me broken, stopped, or under his control. And it ain't gonna happen, Sean. I'm never gonna be under your control. Never. You need to learn how to control your wife and her friends and their mouths. Because you got Beyonce in the Beehive looking real fucking dumb right now. 5 million unfollowed, and that number's gonna go up with every image in one of those freak off tapes. And God help if anybody here how that bitch really talks about people with her, they'll start unfollowing by the tens of hundreds. Again. And they should. Because the truth is, the only reason they were following was because of the witchcraft and the spells that were being pushed out through the media. Y'all ain't fans because y'all really love them and y'all really think they're the best. You're fans because you fell for the hype. And they are hypes. I know I can sing. I've been able to do that my whole life. And they've been trying to stop me my whole career. Because see, unlike Beyonce, I'm not willing to hurt people to get famous. See, that's the part of the story that they're not telling y'all. That the more terrible you are, the more
R. Kelly, now a convicted rapist, was allegedly in a relationship with Aaliyah, but at the same time, Jay-Z was also trying to get close to her. Aaliyah, who was incredibly talented, made a huge impact on the music world, going double platinum with her second album at just 16 years old. Sadly, only 2 months after releasing her third album, Aaliyah died in a plane crash while returning from the Bahamas under very strange circumstances. Reports later claimed that Aaliyah had been drugged before getting on the plane, and that the plane itself was already damaged before takeoff. Around this time, rumors began to spread that Aaliyah and Jay-Z were involved in a relationship when she was just 19 and he was almost 31. These unsettling details have left many people wondering what really happened, and the mystery surrounding her death continues to raise more questions.
Jaguar Wright alleged that Jay-Z is involved in the trafficking with Diddy. She explains that Jay-Z is directly involved or he has aided and abetted Diddy doing this over the years. And we know Jag just took the internet by storm by explaining that Jay-Z actually did this to Rihanna when she was 16 years old and he signed her to Def Jam. And I mean, everyone has been talking about this. Where is Jay-Z now that all of this is happening to Diddy? Because before this, they were the best of friends. You would always see them together. And I mean, even 50 Cent is calling this out. And Jag has said for the longest, once all this information about Diddy comes out, Jay-Z will be next because you can't keep everything concealed like you think you can. And the cookies are crumbling all around them because now the Dream has been sued for the same exact things that Diddy has. And when you read this lawsuit, some of the things being alleged in this lawsuit against the Dream are so similar to the lawsuits with Diddy. And the Dream has worked for Jay-Z and his artists like Beyonce and Rihanna for years. The Dream actually wrote a lot of songs for Beyonce's Renaissance album, and in 2020 he actually won a Grammy for this. And Jag explained now what we need to do is get all these other victims to actually come forward and explain things that happened to them, because if not,
Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who was a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who was a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have
Jaguar Wright, who worked with Jay-Z during the time these allegations came to light, has made some serious claims. She says that everyone close to Jay-Z and Beyonce knew that Jay-Z was involved in orchestrating Aaliyah's death. According to Wright, Beyonce was worried that Aaliyah might steal her spotlight, while Jay-Z was angry because Aaliyah had rejected his advances.
Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately: Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music, and that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which, if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. a lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous, and everyone knows Diddy.
There have been reports that R. Kelly secretly married Aaliyah and even played a role in raising her. Dame Dash, co-founder of RCA Fellow Records, recently opened up about Jay-Z's connection to R. Kelly. Dash accused Jay-Z of enabling R. Kelly's abusive behavior. In a podcast, Dash revealed that he ended his friendship with Jay-Z because of how he treated Aaliyah and for staying friends with R. Kelly. These shocking revelations are making people take a closer look at what really went on behind the scenes in the music industry.
Opinion on the R. Kelly situation, do you think he got railroaded or he's where he belongs?
Yeah, I think he's where he belongs. I mean, I know Aaliyah, so I know what he did. I can't be objective about that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he definitely seemed like he needed some help.
You ever have beef with R. Kelly while you was with Aaliyah? You ever hang on to no shit or get weird? Or?
Nah, she had asked me to leave it alone completely. So she never really wanted to tell me. It was like things I'd be like, yo, she just was just leave it alone. She just wanted it left alone. So that's the thing that people would be like when Jay was doing videos with him, I was be in the video, but I'd be like, yo, what do you want me to do? And she'd be like, don't start nothing, just don't be in no shots with him. So I would never, you show me a picture of me in a picture with him and shit. Mm-hmm. And then when he did the record with Jay, that's why I was that was almost like one of the things where I was just like, he's out of here, Jay. I just let it go because I couldn't believe he did a project with R. Kelly, knowing that he had my girl.
Dame Dash once shared that everyone in the industry was after Aaliyah, and when she chose him over Jay-Z, that's when things got really tense. He says Jay-Z was angry because Aaliyah picked him instead. Dash also mentioned that the plane Aaliyah was supposed to be on was switched, and Aaliyah herself felt something was off with the plane she ended up boarding. He spoke about all of this 10 years ago, but back then, no one took him seriously. Now, as more details come out, people are starting to question if there was more to the story than we ever knew. The mystery deepens.
I didn't even know it was Aaliyah when I saw her. I was like, who the fuck is that? She just looked mad good. That picture that everybody puts up, and it's like a Puff's party, and we're all on the bed and all that other shit, pause. But like the big pictures, that's the night that we made it happen. So that's where I left, and that's where my life changed dramatically. Yeah, that day, that's when it happened. I was, like I said, me and homeboy was both getting at her. It was like one of us is gonna win, and I won.
So Jay, he was trying to get at it too.
Yeah, everybody knows that. He was going hard. It was Aaliyah. Everybody was going at Aaliyah. That's why it hurt so much when I was the one that got to get with her. But I wasn't even thinking I was gonna fall in love. But she just was too ill, too cool.
Was he feeling the type of way when you made it official with her?
Yeah, but I didn't want to do that to him, bro. Obviously, you see you see what happened. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would say so. His friends get with him.
Right. So what I do want to ask you about Aaliyah, what was the situation with Hype Williams where, he took her plane and she had to take the plane that he was using? Like, what happened with that?
No. She was in Miami and the video was supposed to be in Miami. And I had told her, I was like, Hype does this thing where he'll act like he needs more days just so he can get paid more. And don't let him do that. And then, all of a sudden she comes back and was like, he wants to go to the Bahamas. I was like, I told you he was going to do that. And what I had heard was that, what I was told was she was supposed to be on Lenny Kravitz's jet, but he offered it to her. And you can ask Lenny Kravitz, I guess. And Hype took it and had her on that plane.
Yeah, they should. I mean, she'll still be here. If she was on the plane she was supposed to be on.
I said a lot of things years ago, and they all realized themselves later. But the things that I found appalling for some reason 10 years ago, no one found them appalling when they were happening. It took for everyone to get busted for people to find it appalling. But no one ever says when they don't have to, because nobody really gives a I've seen that firsthand. But once it becomes popular opinion, that's when everybody's appalled. You know, that's when they pay attention. That's when Dame was right again. But wrong in the moment, overreacting in the moment, but 10 years later, I was dead right. It's, again, another behavior pattern, a human trait that I don't even judge people for.
In a recent chat about his upcoming docuseries, Did He Do It?, 50 Cent shared some eye-opening thoughts. He revealed that for a long time, he and other industry insiders had a feeling something was off with Jay-Z and Diddy. 50 Cent said that he's been saying for a while that Jay-Z's silence over the Diddy situation was strange. Now, with a lawsuit against Diddy, 50 Cent feels like his instincts are proving true. When asked why he's so sure about the allegations against Diddy, 50 Cent admitted that he was just as shocked as everyone else when the news broke. He didn't make the allegations or encourage others to speak out about them. He simply saw it all unfold in the media, just like the rest of us. One person shared how uncomfortable they felt with the way someone would talk about inviting people to party with them, saying, "That alone made me back off." They also admitted that hearing about the recent allegations made them uneasy, especially when they saw the news about 3 men accusing someone of drugging them. It's a lot to take in when people don't even remember being violated for 20 years, they said, adding that it just feels overwhelming. When asked about the allegations against Jay-Z, the person said, "It's interesting because at the time I didn't fully understand what I was saying. I was just noticing that Jay-Z was so quiet during the whole Puffy situation. Now, it's clear his team knew about the allegations too." They went on to say, "I hope everything works out for him and his family, but those accusations are serious." On December 9th, lawyer Tony Busby filed a civil lawsuit against rapper Sean Jay-Z Carter, and the case is continuing to grab attention. It's a lot for people to process, and everyone is left wondering what will happen next. Carter, or Jay-Z, alleging that Carter had been involved in the alleged rape of a 13-year-old Jane Doe, along with Shay Diddy Combs, the victim, who is autistic, and now a mother of 2, claims that Diddy and Jay-Z raped her at an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards in New York City. Allegedly, she is prepared to come forward and even submit to a polygraph test. Boo-Bye say about Jay-Z, the artist, a businessman. Well, the complaint begins defending Sean Combs, along with his longtime friend and collaborator Sean Carter, drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl at an after-party following the 2000 Video Music Awards. Another celebrity stood by and watched as Combs and Carter took turns assaulting the minor. Many others were present at the after-party but did nothing to stop the assault. Combs had been allowed for years to conduct himself in this manner without any consequences. He believes he is of the law. He is not. His close friend Sean Carter has been with Combs during many such instances described here, and both perpetrators must face justice so that the allegations against Jay-Z, Sean Carter, suggest that he wasn't just there at the scene of the crime, but may have been involved in other troubling incidents as well. This has led people to wonder if Jay-Z could face more lawsuits if these claims turn out to be true. The lawsuit points out that Diddy and Jay-Z were more than just business partners. They developed a close friendship that's been well known over the years. From the late 90s to today, the two of them attended countless music events, business ventures, and parties together. Their bond was so strong that in 2023, Diddy shared that Jay-Z is the only person, besides Diddy's mother, who was allowed to call him by his legal first name, Sean. Back in 2000, when both men were at the height of their fame, they attended the MTV Video Music Awards in New York City. After the show, Diddy hosted an exclusive after-party for some of the biggest celebrities in the music industry, and Jay-Z was there too. The close relationship between these two adds more layers to the ongoing story, making people wonder what really happened behind the scenes. In the latest complaint, lawyer Tony Busby addresses something troubling he claims Jay-Z did after he got involved in the case. He says that Jay-Z, initially identified as Celebrity A in the original filing, responded in a way that escalated things. Instead of just talking things through, Jay-Z allegedly filed a frivolous lawsuit and, on top of that, started a campaign of harassment and intimidation. Busby claims Jay-Z targeted not just him, but also his team, their families, employees, and even former associates, all in an effort to scare them into dropping the case and prevent the plaintiff from naming him. But despite all this, the plaintiff didn't back down. She chose to move forward with the amended lawsuit, saying that Jay-Z's actions only pushed her to stand stronger. This turn of events is making the case even more complicated, and now everyone is watching closely to see what will happen next. The details of the case involving Diddy and Jay-Z are truly shocking and reveal just how far they're willing to go to get what they want. What stands out even more is that the case suggests Diddy wasn't acting alone. People at his parties knew what was going on, and not only did they let it happen, but they also helped Diddy and Jay-Z avoid facing any consequences. So, as the plaintiff entered what seemed like a large living room or foyer, she recognized several celebrities in the crowd. She tried to mingle and speak to some of them, hoping to meet those she admired from the VMAs. While she was moving around, waitstaff walked through the crowd carrying trays of drinks, and loud music filled the space. She noticed a lot of drug use, including marijuana and cocaine. After chatting with a few celebrities, the plaintiff accepted a drink from one of the waitresses. The drink was a reddish-yellow mix that tasted like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something bitter. After taking the drink, things quickly started to take a turn for the worse. A portion of that drink, plaintiff began to feel woozy and lightheaded, making her need to lie down. A photograph of an actual exemplar container used by Combs and/or his agent SL employees to insert GHB into alcoholic drinks is seen below, and these are the photos included in the lawsuit that show a small plastic container that the plaintiff claims contained drugs at the party. The woman, remember, who claimed she was 13 at the time, says she felt woozy and went to look for a place to lay down soon after Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity B plaintiff. Immediately recognized all three celebrities, Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes. As she grew more and more disoriented, plaintiff was held down by Carter as he vaginally raped her. While Combs and Celebrity B watched after Carter was finished, she stepped back toward the wall. Holmes then stepped forward and vaginally raped plaintiff while Carter and Celebrity B watched Hez, then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral on him. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taking a Combs stopped his attempt. Tapes showing Diddy, Jay-Z. Other celebrities are now in FBI custody, and it's only a matter of time before the biggest six trafficking ring in the history of Hollywood gets exposed. These tapes were handed over to the FBI by a close friend of Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter. Those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes, so I asked him about that, and he answered what he could given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women. How many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage? 2 males, and of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs? This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were right. Appear to be, let me repause, based on yes, understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or into the influence? All of them. Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing? I think all, to be honest, all were victims or were perpetrating victims. They were victimized, meaning this was happening to them and they were inebriated, right? Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing. The victim, identified as Jane Doe, also recently gave an exclusive interview to NBC News where she detailed what Diddy and Jay-Z did to her. The woman's testimony includes details that only someone who has been to Diddy's freak-off party could have known. She named specific celebrities that were present at this party, along with reports of what the venue looked like from the inside. Interestingly, she also knows the identity of Diddy's driver, who allegedly told her she fit Diddy's type. You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life. A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity. What made you want to come forward and talk today? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet, but it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close. You weren't scared to be all alone. No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof gel ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out. In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury the night of the 2000s VMAs. She says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York, to to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Coles' limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party. I stumbled upon Diddy's driver, who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for. What did you think when he said that to you? That it meant that I was just pretty. She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother. I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo, because you know I have a really is about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper, because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about at the after party. She says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while female celebrity watched Jack comes in and me. He at that point I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth, told me to stop it, cut, stop it, cut the after the alleged R. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home. We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was. Diddy's ex-party planner, Tanya Wallace, and Harvey Levine, the executive producer of TMZ, are also among the few people who have confirmed the existence of Diddy's freak-off tapes. Both of them have actually seen the tapes, and Tanya was even present at several of Diddy's parties. She claims that she saw a group of adults gathered around minors. These minors were being assaulted by these celebrities, but no one did anything to stop it. Harvey Levin, on the other hand, says that the tape he saw also showed people having a threesome with minors. And I want to start with Tanya Wallace, who claims she's been at a Frio and said she saw children, and it was hard for her to say it. It was very hard for her to say, Ashley. So what she said was that she was flown out from LA to Miami by the Saudi prince. They ended up eventually on Star Island at one of Diddy's parties. She says, among many other things. She goes into detail. This, she says, happened in 2018. She says that she walked into the house and there was a cluster of adults around, what she described as little people, and they were dressed up as Japanese Barbies. I forgot the name. It's Herc. Something. You can help me out here. It's a certain type of bar. Anyway, I know the name, but I've forgotten it. But go ahead. So she explained that that they were just clustered around these little people, and I kept pushing her, and she eventually said, look, they are little people who should not be in an adult party. And I pushed her, and it was apparent what she was saying is that we're minors now. She didn't see anything specific that was going on with them other than that adults were kind of huddled around them. But she told just a wild story about what was going on at the house, even at 7 in the morning, that this thing apparently raged all night long. It's amazing. TMZ always gets such great scoops, and this one might be one of your best as well. Well, you got a hold of one of the freak-off tapes. Your producers have seen it. The description is, and I'll quote, it's porn directed by Diddy himself, and a male sex worker really sort of walks through what happened and the experiences that he had. They didn't sound illegal, but they sure seem to comport with a lot of the other stories that have been told. So the this was a threesome. What you would ask me about earlier about Tanya Wallace. She said there were more than 100 people at that party, including at least 4 celebrities. But this, what you're talking about now, was a threesome, and that's something that the U.S. attorney even referenced. And his lawyer in an earlier documentary we did, he was describing threesomes. He says it was all consensual. So yes, what we're told is that this male sex worker was flown out to various locations over a couple of years, Miami, New York, or Los Angeles, and one other, and they would meet in hotel rooms, and Diddy would often watch as he would have sex with this woman who was associated with Diddy. So that seems to be what the feds are looking at right now in terms of alleged sex trafficking. If they are transporting somebody, perhaps paying them to cross state lines, that could end up being part of sex trafficking. We know that this guy got a subpoena, and he ended up not testifying before the grand jury, but talking to our prosecutors, and we're told that he left that tape with them. As more evidence comes to light, the shocking connections between some of the biggest names in the industry and Aaliyah's untimely death are harder to ignore, with new allegations, reopened cases, and damning testimony surfacing. It seems like the walls are closing in on Diddy, Jay-Z, and others. Do you think justice will finally be served, or will these powerful figures manage to silence the truth? Yet again, share your thoughts in the comments below.